Whew. Well, I don't know about all of you, but I'm thrilled to be here. Hopefully you guys are thrilled to be here with me. As always, thank you so much for joining me here on the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and we got a lot to get to tonight. We're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff that we've been doing for several shows, really, in the past, but I thought we would devote more time to it tonight because... Eric, I thought we would do a little more directed episode at it, because I don't want to give you guys always the same stuff every show. Generally speaking, we always do the news. Generally speaking, we always do the Discord question of the week, providing we don't have a scheduled guest on or something like that. But I thought, well, we've been doing some, I wouldn't say active investigating, but we've been doing some trial investigating here on the show regarding trying to, I don't know what the right way to phrase this, but to connect with whatever spirits might be around. Now, not whatever, because obviously I try to filter anything dark out in prep before the show and also during the shows and such. But yeah, I just thought it's kind of fun. I have some investigations coming up in the future, some active investigations that'll be happening. And so it started out as just kind of an idea like, I should test some of this stuff, and why not do it on the show to let all of you guys be a part of the experience as well. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And you guys seem to really be, for the most part, responding really positively. So just as a forewarning, if you're one of those viewers that's like, you know what, that stuff creeps me out, I don't know if I trust it, I don't want you inadvertently waking up stuff in my house, here's your warning that after the Discord question of the week, that's what we're going to be doing. I will say this, I have received emails, a few, just 2 or 3 emails so far, but some people have been really uncomfortable with it, and I appreciate that. I really do, because God only knows none of us want to awaken something dark or negative or problematic to our lives. And that certainly is never my pursuit. It's not what I'm after. I don't ever do shows that are sensational to try to, push the envelope in order to get you guys, to come click and spread the word and to start controversy. It's certainly not worth anybody's, well-being in order to chase clicks. I will never do that. That is never going to be a pursuit of this show. I always try to be very careful in what I'm doing. I do a lot of prep before the shows to make sure that it's as safe as I can make it. And of course, I don't ever advocate people investigating their own homes. There's different schools of thought, but my consideration is, you don't poke a sleeping bear. I mean, if your house is peaceful, don't start looking for EVPs. Don't start, trying to get EMF hits on a K2 meter or try to get cat balls to flash. It's going off. Wow. It's flashing, folks. Right behind me. That's one of the cat balls. I've got 3 of them set up tonight. I got a couple more set up over on the table over there next to a K2 meter. I'll put it up on screen so you can see it. That's over there, but the one behind me started flashing. There you go. There it goes again. I'm sitting here absolutely still. There's no bumping or rumbling going on. That, as far as I can tell, is absolutely organic. So it could be an indicator of something going on. Those of you that have been tuning in lately, I've been placing these things around. And by and large, there's not a lot of activity, but there you go, folks. This is what I'm talking about. I've seen these used directly, personally, firsthand in investigations. And this to me is very anomalous. I'm not going to say it's paranormal, but it's definitely anomalous. Now you see it going off. It's supposed to stop going off. I actually had one of them go dead earlier today. Absolutely dead. And so if that's any indication of what's going on, maybe this one's going to be going dead too, but we'll see. Thank you to whomever made the cat ball flash and shine like that. We appreciate it. If you are a presence that's here, You can only be here if you're peaceful, calm, and loving, and kind, and benevolent. So there is no room for darkness or malevolent in this home or in this space. You are not allowed. So, but thank you for making it flash. That's very cool. All right. So we've got that going on. As you can see over here, there it goes again. Somebody wants some attention tonight, apparently. I realize they make those statements. I don't know for sure that anything paranormal is doing that, but I know they're motion activated, and take it or leave it. It's just one indicator of potential activity. Don't ever take one indicator as an actual proof. But for those of you that have been tuning in, you know that a lot of times these cat balls just sit there. That's what they do. But when they go off, that's, I see that, Mom. Thanks. When they do go off, that is a pretty interesting correlation to potential activity. You're not supposed to eat all of them. 100 Paranormal Portal demerits. I don't even know the context of that, Eric. But anyway, we'll continue on here. And just so you know, I'm bouncing around here. It's not flashing. It's not my motions, any micro motions that could be putting it off. It's just flashing of its own accord, apparently. So take it or leave it. That's an indicator, but that's more of what we're going to be doing in a bit. So I got some things set up for that. But we're also going to get to the there it goes again. We're going to get to the news, and we're going to get to the Discord question of the week, of course, which has to do about ghosts as well. And that's another question from the Minion tonight. The Minion and Sheldon and I all brain pooled, and again, the Minion came up with the question of the week for tonight's show. So it has to do with spiritual ghostly encounters. So anyway, we got a lot of it going on tonight. So let's see what's going on here. Let me see. Do I have this up? Yes, I do have it up. And I better do this first and foremost because it's something I'm absolutely thrilled and excited about. But this is coming up, ladies and gentlemen, on June 17th. It's a conference that I'm actually a part of. That's the Spokane Valley Sasquatch Roundup that's happening in Spokane Valley in Washington State. It's going to be a great event, as you can see from the image on your screen. There's going to be lots of incredible speakers there. Dr. Jeff Meldrum will be there. Cliff Barrickman will be there. Ken Gerhard, Michael Freeman, Michael Thompson, Charles Howard Johnson, who's the gentleman that actually introduced me to the cat ball thing. I'd never even heard of that. So it's actually when I was investigating the Davenport Hotel in Spokane with Charles that he pulled that out, and I was like, wow. And it actually did go off as we were doing a session. So very cool. Didn't go off a whole bunch that night, but it went off once. And I thought, wow, that's pretty solid. And it did correlate with some other activity. And you'll be able to see that eventually when I get those investigation videos done. I'm working on it. I'm only one man. And those of you who are YouTube members will get the first sneak peek of those. I'm going to give you probably a few days or maybe even up to a week just for the members to check it out. And then we'll open it up to all of the audience. So you will be able to see it eventually. That's not me trying to milk more funds from you guys. I will never do that. But it is a chance to say thank you to the members and to give them something special. And, hopefully it is special. I think it is, but, it's something I'm really excited about. So anyway, folks, this is our journey for tonight. We're going to do some Cryptid Corner at the very end, but primarily this show is going to be focused around the spirit world. So buckle up. It's going to get good. But I suppose, first of all, we're not broadcasting on the network because I couldn't connect. So it's just you and me and YouTube. So, but let's get to the news. I got a bit of news, not a ton, but there's a few articles to go over. So let's see what's going on in the world of the news on the Paranormal Portal. Trusted news, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your news anchor, Brent Thomas, here on the Paranormal Portal news desk. And I got some news, and the ball is just going crazy tonight. There you go. So you're seeing it, folks, in real time. I've never had it go off sitting back there. As I said, I got a whole box of these things, so it's just going crazy. That's so cool. I've been waiting for that to happen. It's like, no, if you're here to make that go off. I've been trying and trying, but nobody's took the bait. Tonight, that's a fun toy. Where am I pointing? That's a fun toy. So I guess we'll just see. I have a feeling that one's going to be pretty short-lived in its lifespan. Unfortunately, there's nowhere to replace the batteries on them. I think they're kind of disposable, which is unfortunate, but I got a box full of them, so there's more where that came from. But this is the Paranormal Portal News, and I'm going to hopefully bring you something that you never heard about before, or maybe it teaches you something new. First one is kind of a space and astronomy news, and is that paranormal in and of itself? No, but it's kind of unusual sometimes, and so that's the scope of the paranormal. If it ain't normal, well, by God, it's paranormal. All right, the first article tonight comes from a wonderful site that you all know and love, and this is unexplained-mysteries.com. Please support what they're doing over there. Excellent site. I love this site. It has been just a staple of my news. I mean, it really has. I go through this site, even when I'm not doing shows, just because I love the way that they push out the information in little bite-sized nuggets. And I can catch all the current news in a hurry. So definitely support what they're doing. Stop over there, visit their site, and check out all that is the unexplained-mysteries.com. All right, the article tonight is odds of killer asteroid impact in the next 1,000 years are very low. Hey, good. Excellent. I don't think we're going to be lobbing Bruce Willis up in rockets to drill nukes into him. Thank God we don't need to do that. I don't think he's in good traveling shape anymore. That's kind of a serious mission, so might want to give it to someone else, but at least it probably won't be necessary for the next 1,000 years. A reassuring new study has found that we may be safe from extinction asteroid impacts, at least for the time being, which is good. I like those odds. Unless they're missing something. I mean, space is pretty big, but it's one of the most terrifying apocalyptic scenarios imaginable, and something that has actually happened numerous times throughout our planet's history. Now, though, a new study headed up by Oscar Fuentes Munoz from the University of Colorado Boulder has significantly played down the risk of a huge asteroid hitting our planet anytime soon. The research involved is using new methods to predict the path of NASA's entire catalog of dangerous near-Earth objects up to 1,000 years into the future. The results are certainly promising. The most dangerous candidate is a 0.8-mile wide asteroid that has a mere 0.00151% chance of passing closer than the orbit of the moon within the next 10 centuries. Well, good. Those are good numbers. Beyond that, the next riskiest is 10 times less likely to do so. Of course, this study doesn't take into account asteroids that NASA hasn't seen. Ding, 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 ding. That's the problem. Do they know all of them that are out there? No, probably not. Not anywhere near it. It's always possible that the killer asteroid may be out there that we have yet to detect. In addition, this doesn't mean that we should give up on developing space missions capable of deflecting or destroying an incoming asteroid should the need arise. Absolutely, Armageddon. On the whole, though, it is nothing if not an encouraging result. Yeah, I mean, I like those numbers. I mean, at least the ones we know about don't look likely to pound into us anytime soon. It's the ones we don't know about that we probably need to be the most concerned with. So anyway, that's a little bit of optimism for the next 1,000 years. So everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. We're not going to be wiped out by an asteroid. And there's the balls going on again. Wow. That is just a busy light tonight. I don't know. It's very strange. It's not like it's sound. Well, is that coincidence or not? I don't know. I'll try it once more again after it gets done flashing. I'm just kind of curious because it's going off a lot, like a ton. And it's like, okay, maybe, but I'm not talking loud. That's a pretty, or am I thumping when I'm doing that? Let me just check because I'm not moving my feet or anything, but I'm going to hammer on my desk or on the chair. No, nothing. It's not vibrational. I was just stomping my foot there. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be noise. It doesn't seem to be vibration. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's a happy ball, though, I guess. Everybody loves a happy ball. Switch it with another ball. Yeah, well, I got two more over there. I mean, I just put this one up here more as a prop. I didn't expect anything to happen with this one, but yeah, I could do that, but I'd have to go unpack the other balls, and then, being live doesn't really lend me to do that, but we'll see if anything happens with the other balls and when we get to that portion of the program. But anyway, sorry about that, folks. I just keep noticing it going off, and I'm trying to figure out, is it something with the actual unit? But now it's sitting idle. So it's not just flashing just cause. It's not flashing. I don't know if it just sits there dormant now. I mean, that'll definitely be interesting. I mean, something might be triggering it. I don't know. I certainly do believe that that's a strong possibility. It's just I can't just say, yeah, this is definitely paranormal, folks. We got paranormal stuff going on here in the studio. I can't do that. But it is curious. It is anomalous to me. So we'll keep an eye on it. All right. Here's a piece of news that I find a little disturbing. But anyway, this is coming from skynews.com. And special thanks to Rachel again for finding this site to help augment the body of news that I can bring you. And here we go. Father of at least 550 children is now banned from donating any more of his juice. Oh, God. He's got 550 kids out there. What do you do if they start needing child support? You're going to be so screwed, buddy. The man, identified only as Jonathan M., has massively exceeded Dutch national guidelines, which state donors are allowed to father a maximum of 25 children with 12 mothers. Oof. They put a law on that. Well, I mean, it's you don't want to have a monoculture of genetic material. That would not be good. Let me do this. Take that down and we'll leave that up. There we go. A father of at least 550 children has been banned from donating any more of his sperm after he deliberately lied to prospective parents. That's crazy. We already read that next one. It says the prolific donor, identified only as Jonathan M. under Dutch privacy rules, provided sperm to several Dutch fertility clinics, a facility in Denmark, that people he met through advertisements and online forums, the Hague District Court said in written judgment. His lawyer said his client wanted to help people who would otherwise be unable to conceive because his seed is so much more important than anybody else's, of course. But the judge who heard the civil case said the doctor deliberately lied, or the donor rather, deliberately lied about this in order to persuade the parents to take him as a donor, according to a statement from the court. The court added the parents of the children are now confronted with the fact that the children in the family are a part of a huge kinship network with hundreds of half-siblings, which they did not choose. This has or possibly could have negative psychosocial consequences for the children, it said. It added that it is therefore in their interest that this kinship network is not extended any further. The case was about conflicting fundamental rights, the court statement said. On the one hand, the right to respect the privacy of the parents and donor children, and on the other hand, the same right for the donor, it added. The court ruled that interests of the donor children and their parents outweigh the interest of the donor in continuing to donate sperm to new prospective parents. The injunction was sought by the mother of a child conceived with the donor's sperm and a foundation representing other parents. It was handed down by a Dutch court on Friday. The mother, identified as by the foundation only as Eva, said, "I hope this ruling leads to a ban on mass donation and spreads like an oil slick to other countries." I mean, here's the thing. Is there only this guy? Do they have a donor issue over there, or is this guy just being a pig like, more me, more me? I don't know. We must stand hand in hand around our children and protect them against this injustice. The donor faces 100,000 or 88,000 euro. Okay, 100,000 euro fine per case if he breaches his ban. Lawyer Mark DeHeck called the ruling a clear signal and, as far as I'm concerned, a final warning to other mass donors. Yeah, well, he's got how many? 500 kids out there? 550? Whoa, that's a lot of kids. He must be a smooth talker. I mean, it's just there's nothing sensual or sexual about it at all. It's just him donating components, which will be inseminated into a female to produce an offspring. So but who knows what's going on in this guy's head? It's like, why did he feel so compelled that he should just keep, he's like what the hell's going on with him? That he feels like he should champion over 500 children? Really? I mean, my God. Anyway, whatever. We don't know the whole story, but it is curious. It's very curious. So, you might not have heard of that before, folks, but you're welcome. And to any mass donors out there, spread the love. Just let someone else drive the ship for a little bit. You did your part, champ. Go take a break. Make a sandwich. Have a drink. All right, here's the next piece of news up. Speaking of derp moments, I've had a few derp moments in my life. God only knows. I've had a ton of them, but here's one on an international level. It's like, oops. How do you explain that one away? It's not like you just mowed over somebody's rose bush by accident. This one's a little more serious. And that's what the article says from skynews.com. Very serious. Sweden accidentally fires a rocket into Norway. Oops. Oh, what were we thinking? Who leaned on the control board? Norway says it takes the matter very seriously after the rocket went off course and came down in a mountainous area 9.3 miles inside the neighboring country. Yikes. Just went off course, I guess. So it sounds like more of a logistical error than an actual, hey, do we still got those rockets aimed at Norway? Don't touch this button. Which one? This one? Oh, you touched it. How do you do that? I don't know. So it sounds like something just went askew with the whole thing. An investigation is underway after a research rocket fired from Sweden malfunctioned and ended up landing in Norway. I wonder what kind of research they were doing. How big a hole does this bomb make? That's our research program. Or is it, let's put sensors up in space and try to catch, I don't know, any solar rays. I don't know. I'm just thinking here. The Norwegian Foreign Ministry has said its authorities take any unauthorized activity on the side of the border very seriously, according to reports. The rocket, which looked into weightlessness, had reached orbit at a height of 250 kilometers, 155 miles, where experiments were carried out at zero gravity before it went off course. Okay, well, it's not like they had missiles aimed at Norway and just lobbed one over there. It took a slightly longer and more westerly trajectory than calculated, said Swedish Space Corporation, which was behind the launch. The rocket had its payload come down at an altitude of 1 kilometer in a mountainous area, 15 kilometers, 9.3 miles inside of Norway. This is about 40 kilometers northwest of the planned landing site. Well, they're in the neighborhood. It landed in an area where nobody lives and was 10 kilometers from the closest settlement, said Philip Olson from SSC. The projectile, which blasted from Esrange Space Center near Kiruna in northern Sweden on Monday at 7:20 a.m. local time, was supposed to land in the area close to its border. Okay. Well, that didn't work out. Work is taking place to recover the payload, and an inquiry will be establish the technical reasons behind the unplanned flight, said SSC. Mr. Olson said the procedures were in place for when such things go wrong. The company then informs both the Swedish and Norwegian governments and others. The head of the Esrange Space Center, Lennart Poroma, told Norwegian news website NRK that Norway's defense officials had been given prior notice the launch was happening and were updated when the rocket landed in the country. The Norwegian Armed Forces operational headquarters confirmed they received these two notifications from the Swedes, NRK also reported. So it's not like they didn't say, oops, hey guys, heads up. 4. it's like golfing. 4. That didn't work out quite right, but it's not like it was a a huge payload of explosives or something stupid. It was just a research vessel, so they got that going for them. But anyway, I think what was this one? I just want to look. Oh yeah, this one's kind of a terrifying one. I'll read at least a little bit of this one because I can't imagine. This would be like the worst nightmare of anybody traveling, and who could blame people for kind of losing their stuff over what would look like a nightmare about to unfold. And this one is from SkyNews.com. Passengers crying after American Airlines plane catches fire during flight. Yeah, I think I'd cry too, to be honest with you. There's some things you just don't want to see while you're traveling up at about 40,000 feet. One of them is a fire. That's about the worst case scenario. Maybe there's worse, but a passenger on the plane said she could hear people crying after a possible bird strike caused the aircraft engine to go up in flames. And there's a video. Oh my God. Look at that. Oh, there's the flames. I guess they couldn't see the actual engine from this vantage point, but that's pretty creepy. You don't want to see your plane blowing flames. I mean, that's not what you like to see in your aircraft, unless it's a really big engine that's meant to blow flames. But no, I've been on several planes and they're not supposed to do this. So can hardly blame them. But it sounds like everybody made it just fine. So anyway, just had to point that out because my God, that would be the worst thing you want to look out your window and see. It's like, well, where's those flames coming from? Us? No. I mean, that's got to be horrifying. So anyway, everybody made it fine. They landed, switched planes or whatever, and everybody lived happily ever after. So we got that going for us. But this is going to conclude our foray into the news. The ball's been quiet now for a long time, huh? Have you gotten bored of the ball? Is that what's going on? We'll find out, because we'll get to that soon when we dive into more. I didn't mean to scare you off. If you were playing with the ball, go ahead, play with it. But I was just curious if there was something I was doing that was inadvertently triggering it. But now it's sitting idly, folks. So that's actually kind of good, because it does lend the flashy stuff a little more credibility, and it's not just some error in the manufacture of the ball or something. So I love cheese, but that ain't right. Raspberries. That looks like a really random comment. I don't know. Is that a Swiss comment? Okay. Yeah, I got you. I'm a little slow out of the gate, but I caught up just in time. So, all right, folks, we are going to get out of the news here and get back to the rest of our journey. Never smelled it, but I've heard the stories. All right, folks, we are back at it here on the Paranormal Portal. And that was the news. And again, it's sitting quietly now. It was flashing like crazy. I'm glad that it flashed a bunch because I know some people have been tuning in and never seen anything. I'm like, no, really, it went off on other shows. And then it just sat pretty idly for quite a while, but it was flashing quite a bit there. So I just, now it's not flashing at all. But we are going to get to the next segment of the show, which is another personal favorite of mine. I actually love all these segments that we do on the show, and I hope you guys enjoy them as well, because it's always my objective to entertain you as much as I can. If not with the what I'm doing, well, then with how I'm doing it. Because I can be a real idiot, and that's okay. I have a good time with it. I'm not afraid to admit it, but... All right, let's get to the next segment of the show, which is, of course, the Discord question of the week. This is a great segment. I didn't pin it up this week or tonight. Let me just put a pinned link on the top of the YouTube chat to join our Discord. Go to ://. S, I need an S in there. / discord.gg/paranormal portal. And there we go. There's let me pin it to the top. So that'll always be sitting on the top of the YouTube chat. So if you guys are looking for it, boom, there it is. That's how you can join the Discord and be a part of the discussion. So hopefully you'll do that. Hopefully you will. All right. Oh yeah, the Magic 8 Ball's up there. Yeah. That's been all different places. Oftentimes it falls behind the TV a little bit there, so I gotta keep wedging it up. It's a sphere. It's pretty heavy too, so it's not like I can tape it. It's there though. And all right, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for Discord question of the week. Are you ready for some questions of the week? What the hell is my little video? Weirdness. What the hell's going on? Oh, wrong screen. Derp. Here we go. All right, here we go. Time for the Discord question of the week. Use the 8 ball. I like Magic 8 Balls, and they're a fun thing, but I wouldn't probably plan my future on the Magic 8 Ball. But hell, I don't know. SpongeBob used the magic conch, so maybe there's something to it. All right, welcome to the Discord question of the week. If you're kind of new to the Paranormal Portal, then you've seen this segment of the show quite a bit. I mean, we do it every live show. And this is our opportunity to plug into our Discord community, which is many of you that are already here in the chat, and ask you guys a question dealing with the paranormal. It could be ghosts, UFOs, cryptozoology, strange phenomena, etc. But I just like to hear what you guys think of this stuff, because we all wonder. I mean, none of us know. If we knew, my God, that'd be amazing. But we don't know. So we're going to ask the questions and see what you guys say. And I have to tell you, I have been duly impressed by the caliber and level of answers you guys have given. I knew all of you guys were very thoughtful about this stuff because you've been incredible supporters of the show, and I imagine that's due to the fact that you have a passion for the subject matter that we cover, and I really am grateful and thankful for that. But just to hear what you guys are saying is incredible. I'm doing good, Mario. How are you? Sorry, I had to answer that in total Nintendo fashion. It's a me, Mario. All right, let's get to it. So, Discord question of the week question. If you join the Discord server, of course, you'll end up here. This is the general chat. And I haven't been in here much today. I've been kind of busy. Oh, someone new came in. XXLAVAX came in. I'm going to wave to say hi and say welcome. Jim Christie came in. Wave to say hi. Good to see you, Jim. Thanks for joining the Discord. Who else is new? Let's see. Got a lot of stuff in here. This is amazing. You guys have just got this incredible community. And all we did was build the structure. So there's my highs to them. Good. 2 new users. But when you get in there, if you're not familiar with Discord, it's real easy. You just look on the left-hand panel. These are all the discussion groups. Use your mouse scroll wheel to go up and down and look at the different topic areas that you can talk about and look at what people have posted, like cryptids, extraterrestrial, UFOs, ghosts, Bigfoot, etc. And it gives you a chance to, check out what people are posting. Things like footprints and stuff. I mean, that's really cool. Harry and the Hendersons GIF. That's awesome too. So the part we're curious and interested about for this segment of the show is right here. And this is the Discord question of the week. I got some reading to do, as you can see, but tonight's question of the week, Saturday show. And again, this was from Sheldon and the Minion, kind of came up with this one for tonight. So most people claim to have some experiences with ghosts or spirits. Have you ever had an experience with ghosts or spirits? If yes, what is your most memorable encounter? For those who haven't, do you wish you would have your own experience? Because, there's those people that haven't had them and are just fine with that. They're like, yeah, I'm fine with nothing. Just keep my dimensions 3 and safe. But, some people haven't yet had an experience, but they're eager or curious to have some kind of experience. And so asked the question. The first one to weigh in, of course, was Chucky Danger. Said, after going through 3 to 4 months of being terrorized by a spirit in my bedroom, I can say that experiences will never leave my mind. The experience will never leave my mind. Seeing a full body apparition and having it stand at the foot of your bed makes you very quickly reevaluate your beliefs in life. With other family members and friends experiencing the same thing, I know it's real. I have never felt fear like that since then. But from that experience, I've had my mind open to a world that is so much bigger and mysterious than the normal mundane. It's helped me grow to be a much more open and empathetic person. And I can appreciate that I can relate to so many other people who go through similar things and have this bond of fellowship. And I think that is the best thing to come out of it all. Very cool, Chucky. That's awesome. I believe in you when most people will scoff at your stories and call you crazy because they just can't understand. I think we're given what we are able to handle, even when we think we can't, in order to grow and help others in similar situations. I am thankful for the mystery of trying to figure out this stuff and the community I've gained out of it. And that is what is most memorable for me. Wow, what a brilliant answer. Thank you, Chucky, for that. And yeah, I mean, seeing is believing, of course. If you've been through a period of experiences, and I've had several of my own, I can relate to that. And so it's kind of there's a real stark difference between believing in something and experiencing and knowing that something is real. And I have a few experiences in several different categories of the paranormal. Jute. 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 That's like a fiber, or used. A jute is like a plant, right? I don't know why I said jute. That was the word generator on the computer Ghost Radar, which is on your screen. You can see the wavelength spike here that shows the activity that cued that to happen for it to spit out a word. So jute. I don't know how that's relevant, but anyway, I thought it said Jude. I was like, hey, Jude. So, anyway, Celtic Thorn Rose comes up next. Not sure where to begin. I've had many encounters of ghosts since childhood, along with other type of paranormal events. When I was young, I used to talk to an older man, I guess 60s, and still seeing him from a child's perspective. He was in a crawl space in my bedroom. Wow. I mean, just thinking back to that must be, wait a minute, what was he doing in a crawl space? That's kind of creepy, right? But I don't know. Maybe they just go where it's the most quiet for whatever reason. I would open the door and see him at the back, and he and I would just talk and talk. His name was Henry, but he went by Hank. He was thin and wore overalls and had a cap on. He looked like a farmer to me. There had been quite a few farms back in the turn of the century in that area, and he would tell me he liked to be where he was and that he loved the house and wanted to protect it. There was another entity in the house that he was protecting the living and the house from. I know it was there as I felt it and times and would hide in a closet from it, and soon the scary feeling would pass and I knew Hank had put a stop to it. Hank's eyes would light up when I would open the crawl space door, and he would smile and say, "Welcome, welcome." I never feared him and loved him dearly. I miss him and wonder if he's still in that house. I seem to run into protector spirits. I have been lucky that the people I speak to about this stuff are into it as well. I usually have a good sense as to who will be open to it. So many stories I have and so many stories I've heard. I'd love to talk to you, Celtic and Celtic Thorn Rose. If you want to reach out to me, you could be a guest on the podcast to share these encounters. I know Chucky was on there and shared his incredible experiences, and I love the fact that this is something that you lived and witnessed firsthand. I mean, those are the greatest stories, right from the people that experienced them. And so I love having people that are experiencers on the shows more than anything. And I love talking to researchers and the celebrities and stuff too. Don't get me wrong, but the people that have the experiences to me are very, I don't want to say rare, but it is something special for someone to come forward and share something so intimately a part of their experience in life, a part of their fear. I mean, it's a kind of a opening up to a sacred degree, really. And I feel a great swell of honor when people want to come on the show, and there's no pressure. If somebody really would rather not, then I understand. But thank you so much for sharing that here. I appreciate it. And thank you to everybody that pitched in their takes on this stuff. James Jack F comes next. Oh, I got to take a drink. I'm a little dry. I'm a little dry. Sorry. I believe in ghosts. Never seen one with my own eyes. No, not do I want to. I think he meant nor do I want to. It seems like everyone deals with stuff differently. I don't think I could deal with seeing a ghost. Like some of the other stuff I've experienced, I guess I feel and another level from fear from them. Almost like you can't stop something that doesn't reside in the world of the living. My dad told me his one and only paranormal experience when I got older. He explained it to me. When I was a newborn and my sister was 2, he had an aunt that wanted to see my sister and when she was born and never got the extra time. Then when I was born, she finally made time to come see us both. In the early 80s, she was on the way with her boyfriend and got in a bad car crash. Aw, how sad is that? Leaving him badly injured and she passed. 2 weeks later, my dad was up late at night while everyone else was sleeping. A bright light filled the room. His first thought was a burglar got in with a bright flashlight, but then he realized he couldn't move at all. Then the light came into my parents' room and she began to tell him she wasn't there to harm anyone, just wanted to see my sister and me, and would be going. My grandmother also had a few ghost encounters of her mother and grandmother coming back to yell at her for giving certain items away to my uncle. But those are the only encounters I know of in my family, and certainly believe others. It seems like ghosts are easier for people to believe than some of this other stuff. Weirdly enough, I posted the same comments around 2 a.m. last night and noticed it wasn't there when I was reading others' experiences. Wow. That is a bit weird. So interesting. I find it very shocking they would come back and yell at somebody like, "Why did you give that to him? It is not supposed to have that. That was not my wish." It's like, wow. Don't want to piss off the spirits. No, I mean, whatever. Who knows? Maybe they knew more than, about this uncle and that he wouldn't take care of it or wouldn't pass it along or whatever. I don't know. But incredible experiences. I think the thing is, the reason James brought up that, people seem more able to believe in ghost stories than any others. And I think that that's true, but I also think that that's because probably ghost stories are timeless. They have been a part of our culture since we were all, basically tribal. I think, ghost stories are a part of our heritage. I think this is something that it is a part of the human condition. Seeing and experiencing ghostly apparitions and presences and experiences. It is probably the most universal paranormal experience of all of them. And I think probably everybody has had a ghostly experience, but they may not acknowledge it as such. I think it can be as simple as, I know I put my keys there. I always put my keys there. Every day for years, I put my keys there and now they're not there. Where are they? But I think that's oftentimes we just chalk it up to, absent-mindedness or some memory glitch or something. So we don't give it the merit that it maybe deserves. And maybe because we just don't know for sure. And it's hard to jump right to ghosts. Everything's ghosts. Well, it's the spirits. That's what it is. It's the ghosts. Not everything is. Sometimes things are just human condition. Sometimes it is memory issues or just glitches in our behavior or something, but sometimes it's not. And it's hard to know which is which, I guess, especially when it's more subtle like that. I mean, if someone walks through your living room that you can see through, then that's a pretty clear indication it's a spiritual presence. But if it's just things being misplaced, items not being where they should be or always are, that could be something else. So very cool. Thank you, James, for that. Lars says, I believe I have called in my experience over a year ago on the show. Yeah, I appreciate that, Lars, but I apologize, but I can't remember everybody's experience, but I appreciate so much that you did. It's over there. Something was over there. Right on the other side of the desk. Nothing flashing, I don't think. So we got some presences, possibly. Oh, right back. Oh, now there's two of them. They're surrounding me now. One behind me. Ooh. It's getting funky up in here. Well, thanks you guys for stopping by. Whoever was here. Appreciate it. It's kind of part of our journey tonight, so I can hardly be like, what's going on? So we'll see what happens. That was 2 back-to-back, though. I don't think that's happened in at least not in recent memory that it's been so active. But you can feel free to make the ball flash again if you guys want to. If you're here, sitting here kind of watching and seeing what's going on, just make the ball flash and then we'll know you're here. Appreciate it. Or the ones over on the desk. I don't have those on the screen, do I? I could do this so we can keep an eye on those as well. So the one, now you won't see the one behind me if it flashes, but I don't know. I don't have the right camera angles for everything here, I guess. But we'll put it on those since we seem to be having things popping off here in the studio tonight. We'll see. All right. So, Lars, I'll have to find it. Been listening past episodes. Well, I appreciate that, James, that you're going to go look for Lars's calling. The Unknown says, honestly, I don't know if I've had experience with ghosts. I mean, weird stuff happens, but is that a ghost or just my stupidity? That's fun. I honestly swear to God, I haven't pre-read any of these. I only read them live on the show with you guys, so it's kind of funny. We just talked about that. That's weird. Serendipity, folks. I think it's a powerful thing. I don't know. That to me really kind of blows me away. Probably just my stupidity, but what if it's a ghost? Things disappear every single time I'm looking for something. And then when I just had it in my hand, I look everywhere and there it pops up where I've already looked. Now, was that a ghost or was that was the missing the object I was looking for caused by the blind spot everyone has in their eyes? Well, there's that too. Yes, everyone has a blind spot in their eyes, but anyway, my answer is I don't know if I'm dealing with one or not. Now, why did the turtle cross the road? It was the chicken's day off. Have a good one. There you go. I'll have to tell that one to the minion. Yeah, I think he'll get a kick out of that. He'll go and tell it to all his second grade friends. Ghost radar. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a busy night here in the studio, so we'll see. If the balls flash over on the table, that'd be cool. The ball flashes behind me that you guys can't really see anymore. It is still flashy, though. I don't know. It's still not on screen, though, is it? Well, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be on screen pretty soon again. So I can't make it on screen right now because there's no room back there to set a little ball up. You believe how much junk I got in here? Rachel comes in next. Yes, I've had two. One early morning on my way to work, I walked into a side street, saw a man smoking by a dumpster, and he saw me, smiled, and slowly disappeared. Wow, that's a cool story, Rachel. The second, also in the winter, but in my apartments. I had an afternoon nap. I woke up, looked towards the foot of my bed, and there was an elderly woman dressed in European clothing. She had a babushka headscarf on. I could see her face in profile. She side-eyed me slightly. I opened and closed my eyes 2 or 3 times, and she was still there. I pulled my blanket around my head, turned on my side facing away from her, and went back to sleep. Yeah, the power of a blanket. I mean, honestly, I've always wanted to do a paranormal portal blanket and sell it as spirit defense. Just hide under it. It works. It's a time-honored tradition of spiritual protection. Protection. My God, my tongue was stuck. So, kids have been doing it for eons. Seems to work. That's all I can say. All right, Lars Grass, I'm at work tonight, so I can't be live. Sorry, Lars. I wish you could have been here. It's me, Mario. Comes in next. He said, I had an experience. I was once home alone watching I'm ready. Hiya, Patrick. SpongeBob, as any kid would do on 15 minutes. I hear the dryer go off, and may I repeat myself, I'm home alone. I go up to investigate, and sure enough, it's powered on to look around to see if I'm really alone. Then when I figured I was alone, I used our landline to call my mom. I told her everything that had happened, and she was in a complete disbelief and thought I was messing with her. And I swear to this day, a ghost or helpful poltergeist did our laundry. Another story that is short. One day my mom got me a copy of New Super Mario Brothers for my DS, and when I popped it in, it said 7 days. I don't know what it meant or if some messed up person sent it, but 7 days later my cat died. I really don't think it was a coincidence. And Brent, may the force be with you, my master of the paranormal. Yes, Padawan. I appreciate that. No, I think it's the premonition stuff is kind of wild. That is, it's very possible that it was some kind of memo, just some kind of mention, like, in 7 days, brace yourself. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Mario. Appreciate it. Appreciate your weighing in. All right, John Stevenson comes in next. I had an experience with a couple of ghosts. I was in the hospital, and the day before my surgery, I saw a dark shadow in the corner of my room. Yeesh, that's not a good thing to see in a hospital. I was about 14 years old. Another time is in my former work area, in the medical imaging department of the hospital I'm working at. The MRI area has a sliding door, and it's accessed by the patient by pressing the doorbell, and the person lets you in. When I was in there cleaning, I was by myself, and everyone went home, and the doorbell rung. And I went and had a look, thinking it was someone forgetting something. And when I opened the door, no one was there. It happened quite a lot. We called it the MRI ghost. Wow. All right, so there's an old legend. Take it or leave it. I don't know. But these old wisdoms, you got to kind of pay attention to them. Because God only knows. I think that our forebearers knew things about this stuff that we don't, or we're just maybe starting to resort out now. But the old saying is, if ever there's a knock at your door and you go and look and no one's there, do not open the door. Do not open the door. Because the idea is that if you open the door, you may very well have let something in. So, be the judge. But did he let something in? No, it was in the hospital, but maybe it wasn't able to traverse that barrier. And so by opening it, it was able to get in and out and in. Maybe it was a regular visitor. Maybe it was just a wandering spirit. Who knows? But very curious. I had that happen once at this house. I never had it happen before. But it was like 11:30 at night in the dead of winter. And it was cold. And all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Like, who the hell could be here? Now, I just to let you know, I don't have company. Very, very, very rarely. I'm not one of those people that has like people swinging by all the time. It's just not in my nature. I'm just, I'm kind of a recluse, to be honest with you. Not because I don't like people, not because I'm not kind and wish, to see people, but just because I get in the zone and I just get in my zone, and that's what I'm doing. And so we just don't have people come over, and it's never been intentional, but anyway, that's why it was so weird. And not only was that weird, but the timing was weird. It's like, if it was in the daytime, okay, you could chalk it up to any number of reasons, but 11:30 at night, I think that was what time it was. It was dead of night in the dead of winter, and there's not even any footprints coming up the snow to my door. And I did open the door, and I went, oh, I shut it quick. So, yeah, I'm a hermit squad. Represent, know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I am truly a hermit. I am. I love people. I love talking to people. I love connecting with people, but I also love my solitude. I don't know if that's a character defect or if it's just my nature, but anyway, it's who I am. I can't make any excuses of it. Last up is ZX81V2 says, I remember my first ghost experience, ghost/spirit experience. I won't go into it now, but one thing I can say for sure is when your mind really can't handle what it's seeing, it cheats. It replaces whatever with something you try to associate with whatever it was you saw. It's replaced as such. This happens mostly to young babies, toddlers, but can happen to adults. I was very young and remember it nearly perfectly. I'll write it out down at a later point for y'all. Yeah, I'd love to hear all that. That's fascinating. And I would agree. I mean, certainly memory defects are created in a lot of cases just due to stress, the stress of a situation. If it's too much, it overwhelms your ability to absorb information. And so sometimes, memory blocks come in or representations come in that, mentally are more easy to handle. So yeah, very interesting. So excellent stories, guys. Thank you so much, everybody that took the time to weigh in on this. Again, this is something that'll happen before every live show. So the Discord question of the week, and I'll always be, unless we have guests, I'll always be asking a question. And those questions can come from all of you too. If you have a question, if you're a member of our Discord, or if you're not, and you just want to reach out and say, hey, ask the group this. You can either, in Discord, you can just right-click my name wherever I've popped it up. If I'm on the Discord question of the week, if you're in that group, just right-click my name and say direct message. And you can send me a direct message right to me. Or if you're not in the Discord and you still would like to have a question asked, then email it to me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. I'd be happy to ask the question for you. So we've had several of you guys out there suggest questions. A lot of you have been members of the Discord, but sometimes not. So the door's open. Love to hear your thoughts, things you'd like to, have some different input on, The one thing about the paranormal is none of us know. None of us know the answers. We have theories, we have ideas, we have concepts, but we don't know. So that's why we ask questions. So anyway, this has been a presentation of the Discord question of the week. Let me turn off this. Let me turn on this. All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive into it. Are you ready as we tread into the darkness and we reach out our hands to the unseen and say, come, speak to us. Sorry. I don't know if that's spooky or not, but we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Mama. Portal Mom said, hey, the cat ball is flashing. Yes, it was. It was doing a bunch. It's been real quiet now ever since then, though, right? I mean, nothing now. Just like, as soon as I was clapping and trying to challenge it or question what was going on, then nothing. Weird. Go off, go off. My hand is way in front of it. But it lined up perfectly there. Okay, so I'm going to open. Let me do this first. We'll go here so that we have both those cat balls and this cat ball here on screen. And those are 3 items that can be manipulated, as well as the K2 meter that is laying on the towel. Ideally, if something gets close to that, it should make the meter go up. Should see more of those lights lighting up. And so we'll see if we get any activity there. I'm going to go into airplane mode here, which should shut off everything as far as the normal cellular communication, so that all of the resources can be utilized to communicate. So, spirits of love and light, we come to you reaching out for communication. If you wouldn't mind, nothing dark or evil or horrible is allowed in this space. You are not allowed to be here if you have malicious or ill intents towards myself or any of our viewers. Only benevolent and kind and loving spirits may come forward. All right. So we're going. This is what we're utilizing here. It's called Spirit Talker. It's an app you can download for Android or iPhone. And I don't know. It's been interesting. I'm not, just for the record, and I've stated this many times, I'm not completely sold on these kind of ideas, but I've been very interested and intrigued by some of the responses we get. I don't know if they're all relevant. I don't know, but I do know that sometimes we've had some really curious things come through that seem to, be pertinent to,
Unlikely.
Unlikely? Is it unlikely that you're giving me relevant information? Is that what you're saying? I like to think it's relevant. If there is any spirits here that are among me in the studio here, and you would like to let me know that you're here, you can utilize this device that I'm holding. You are supposed to be able to use your energy to communicate words or thoughts.
Isabella.
Isabella. Hello. Is your name Isabella? Welcome, Isabella. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming through. If you're indeed here, it would do a lot to help convince us if you could make one of the little balls over on that table right in front of the towel laying on the table. If you can make them flash, and I think you could do that by just touching or using your energy, or if you can move it a little bit, it should also flash, or the little ball behind me next to the skull on back there. So if you can make something of those light up, that would be wonderful.
Alive.
You're alive. Good. Yeah, I'm alive too. Thank you. And I'd like to continue to be. I like alive. So, and I'm glad you're alive as well. Did you have anything that you wanted to share?
Scottish.
You're Scottish. Okay. Isabella. Is Isabella a Scottish name? I don't know. Sounds more Hispanic to me, but or Italian or Spain, Hispanic. But Isabella's a beautiful name. So Scottish. What is Scottish reference? Can you tell me what does that word mean, or how is that relevant to bring up? Can you give me any idea of what you're doing here? We'll just keep watching and waiting as we wait for it to generate more answers.
Thump.
Thump. Can you make a thump? Can you thump on that table over there and make those balls flash? If you could do that, that'd be really wonderful. We'd like to have the correlation, because to see words coming out of here is important. But we also need another thing triggered to let us know that you're here. A Scottish thump. Is a Scottish thump. Because if it's not Scottish, it's crap. Could be. Saturday Night Live, Mike Myers. Anyway, I'm kind of dating myself, but that's okay. I ain't no spring chicken, folks. So we got Thump, Scottish, Alive, Isabella, and Unlikely. All right. Danny Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean is my favorite villain of all time.
Back.
Back. Are you back? Or am I back? Or what do you mean? What does back mean? Are you referring to maybe the ghost radar that picked up something standing behind me at my back? What does back mean? Can you help me understand? I would like to have some more information, please. Brent, we all got that reference. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I know we have all ranges of ages that watch the show. I mean, primarily, you guys are in my age group, but... Group. That's kind of cool. I just said age group, and it says group. Coincidence? Possibly, sure. What if it's not? What if that's an intelligence response? Maybe it is. It is a group. We are a group. We're a group of people coming together to talk about the paranormal and spirits and ghosts and stuff. So that's why we're attempting to reach out right now to see if we can connect with you in some manner and to have a conversation, because we have questions. We're curious. We don't understand the next phase of our existence, and we think you might have answers. Would you be willing to talk to us? You don't have to, but it is a wonderful opportunity, and we'd be honored to communicate with you. Crickets. All right, so we'll just wait and see if something else comes through. But again, I think anytime you do investigating, you got to have more than one modality. You can't rely on just one thing. Like, ooh, the spirit says this. It says this because this said it. This is one piece, one small function of possibility. That's why I've set up these other things around the room to hopefully. Whoops, I should probably move that in case the cat ball goes off behind me. Past, P-A-S-T. What does past mean? Why do you bring up past? Can you tell me something that would be relevant about your past that might help me understand? Can you tell me about your past? How old were you when you passed from your physical body? Were you once a human, or were you never a human? I gotta quit doing that. I gotta quit piling on questions. It's just my mind rolling, you know. It's best to, like when you're doing EVPs, you ask a question, and then you should silently count to 10. Because generally speaking, with EVPs and recorded media, we don't know the process, but very rarely do you get a response instantaneously like you would conversationally. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing. Instant. But to ask a spirit, you're asking them to create sound on a medium, such as a digital recorder or a tape recorder or something. And there's a process involved. We don't know much about that process, obviously, at all, but it seems to require effort. So I said this last week, I really enjoy these new toys of yours, and I think we all do. Thank you, Just Info. I really appreciate that because,
Polite.
Oh, yeah, we try to be polite. We don't want to be rude or cruel or demanding in any way. We just appreciate the opportunity to talk. But I appreciate that a lot. I Again, this is a little bit selfish of me to do this because I really want to test this app out. And this is one of the forums in which I can do that. From Dave, $5. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. So if there's any spirits here, could you make any of the balls go off to thank Dave for his donation? Because that really does help me. So if you
I'm glad you're here.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you're here too. Thank you so much for being here. Could you potentially make one of the balls flash for me? Either the one next to the plastic skull behind me. It's not a real skull. Don't worry. It just looks like a real skull. And, or the balls that are laying on that table in front of the towel. If you could make one of those go off, that would really be awesome. You should do a Paranormal Portal special EVP in a graveyard. Yeah. It's something I've been considering. It's just, I have to obviously ask for permission. I don't think a lot of people do, but I would definitely want to contact the group or body that is responsible for the cemetery before going into a cemetery and doing an active investigation or whatever. I think that's it may be met with a lot of dislike by those responsible for it, because a lot of people don't like to push this envelope. They don't want to push the boundaries and possibly bring in negativity into a space where, you know, their loved ones are laid to rest. So I would want to make sure if I do that to do it very appropriately, because outdoors. Yeah, it is. Outdoors is always good. That's where cemeteries are. You're right. They are outdoors. But yeah, it's something I've thought about. I have done it. I did that with Julia, a friend who's in the area here. We went to a small old cemetery out in the countryside a little bit, and we didn't really have permission, but we didn't do much anything. I mean, we were just walking around with a K2 meter and a recorder, asking some questions, and didn't really get anything. Nothing really came through. Had some creepy vibes there a few times. Felt the weight of unseen eyes upon us, but it otherwise was very, very quiet and uneventful. But I think to investigate anywhere, you really have to get very clear and express permission of especially like cemeteries, because that's the final resting place for a lot of loved ones. And it would be horrible to think somebody might drag something negative up by being irresponsible and introducing a dark presence to a place where their beloved remains are buried. So I definitely want to be very careful about that. But I do think that's great. I think I remember that. Yeah, I think we streamed maybe some of it. I don't remember. It's been a long, long time.
Busy.
You're busy? Oh, sorry. Well, get back to us when you got some time. We'd love to see you make your presence known. That would be really wonderful. Seems very quiet. Very quiet now. It started out real busy when we weren't doing this. It was very busy. You guys were seemed to be pretty active here for a while, but now it's gotten quiet. And this is not unusual. In investigating, you'll get spurts. Again, I know the YouTube generation has created a plethora of ghost shows. And I'm getting more and more critical of them as I watch them. I usually keep an open mind. Some of them I just won't watch because I think they're irresponsible and Village. That came up last night, didn't it? Did Village come up last night, I think? I think that's the second time now, along with 1700s and something else. But, yeah. Are you from a village? Where's your village? Oh, here's a name.
Adam.
Hello, Adam. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you being here. Adam, if you're here, can you please make any of the balls, either the one back here in front of the skull right next to it, or the two balls that are laying in front of the towel on the table, can you make any of those flash for us, Adam? I would appreciate that a bunch, and it would do a lot to authenticate that you're really here, because we just don't know, because the name popped up on electronic device isn't really definitive. So if you can correlate that with a flashing ball, that would be great. We'd appreciate that. And apparently Adam is not interested in doing that, at least not yet. But again, you have to be patient. You have to wait for responses. You have to give a reasonable amount of time because we don't understand the amount of effort just to make a ball flash. It might be a huge effort. It might be Herculean for all we know. But it could be as simple as, a wink. We just don't know. Could be easy or it could be incredibly complex for them to do things like this. We just don't know. Well, we'll keep an eye on them, as will you guys. I know you will. I say we'll keep an eye on them. I meant all of us, but I was just making sure you guys understood. Here's one. Oh, this is a sad word.
Mourn.
Oh, are you in mourning? Are you sad? I'm sorry if that's the case. That's certainly not a good state to be in. I truly am sorry if you're in a state of mourning. I hope that you find peace.
Speak.
Please do. Please speak. You can use this device to speak, as you may very well be doing, or another way to speak is to make one of the balls flash. Or if you see on the table to my right, there's a device laying there. And that device is not going to harm you in any way, but it may be able to detect that you're here, your energy. So if you can go close to that device, it could make the lights light up, which would let us know that you're here as well. So either you can interact with the little balls that are on the table, or the little ball behind me that's right next to the skull. This one right here. Yeah, that's on screen. Good. Okay. Or the two similar balls that are over on the table there. If you just interact with them, they will start flashing, and that will let us know you're here. If one of you could please do that, we'd really appreciate it. I'm actually really impressed that one was going off so much, like consistently. I will tell you that prior to the show, I had to go through like about 4 of those balls that were new from the package because I couldn't get them to come on. They would come on, but then they wouldn't do anything. And I could shake them and wiggle them and nothing would happen. I had to go through several of them. Now, I'm sure they're mass produced and I'm sure that they're cheaply made. Me? Was that you? Did you screw with the balls when I was trying to set them up and make them not work? Was that you? But I went through like 4 of them and I would bounce them on the table trying to get them to flash and nothing. Yeah, this one back here was just flashing sugar. In case you missed it, I did tap it just to demonstrate. And I did want to make sure it was on screen because I'm looking at my monitor, which has a very shrunken view of the show screens. So I wasn't sure, is that really there or not? So I wanted to demonstrate it for any spirits that might be present. And I wanted to also see that it was on camera if it was flashing. So I think that was me. Unless one of the ones on the table flashed or it flashed after that quit. That's possible as well. But yeah. Screw with the balls. It's always important to... Never mind. I could go full gutter off of that. After June here, it's too hot for cool evenings. Oh. Well, that's the one good thing about up here, Ruthie, is that even in the dead of summer, when it's blazing hot during the day, at the nights it gets down to about 65. It's really, really wonderful.
Shush.
I'm being scolded. Sorry, I'm trying to focus here, but none of the balls are flashing. Not the K2 is flashing. Nothing's going on other than a few words coming here, and I'm not meaning to be disrespectful or dismissive, but I have to continue to talk to my audience. I can't sit here in silence. So, If you'd like more interaction, then please make those balls flash.
Food.
Food? Do you eat? Can you answer that? Do spirits eat any kind of food? Is there a food for spirits? Is it... Okay, I'm going too fast. All these questions. I'm thinking it might be energy. It might be energy. Could be a food. We've all heard of the batteries draining and things like that come up a lot in investigation, not only with ghosts, but with Bigfoot, with UFOs. The energy anomalies are incredibly profound and consistent through all of the paranormal fields. And why that is, I don't know. Above. There's a fly just flew above me. That's all I saw above. Is there something I should see above me? I don't want random words. I want meaningful messages, if you could please. Use your energy to convey meaningful messages. I don't understand above food. Well, shush, I understand. Speak, mourn, Adam, village, busy, outdoors. I'm glad you're here was a good sentence. That's nice. Polite was nice. Past, I don't know what the past reference was. Group, back, or thump. So a lot of seemingly random words coming out tonight. I'm really trying to make a meaningful connection because this is an opportunity for you to talk.
No, I won't.
Okay, well, you don't have to. I certainly don't want you to do something you're not comfortable with, but I hope you will. I hope you'll talk to us or give us an indicator with the little balls that you're here, because this is kind of an important thing. Making words appear on a screen is one thing. Utilizing your energetic body, I guess. But also verifying that with some of these other devices that I have set up would be even more powerful and would be more convincing of your presence. I'm hoping that you will make one of the balls flash again so that we can verify that you are indeed here. As of yet, I really haven't gotten much in terms of that verification since we've been trying this. And I realize that we can't expect spirits to entertain us. I don't know. Maybe it's a bit condescending. Like these in some cases were people. And it's like, well, no, I don't feel like doing that. What do you mean? What do you? Nicola. Again, Nicola. Why does that name keep coming up here? Nicola, if you're here, I don't know exactly who you are. But that name has come up many times. Nicola. How many was it? 3. All 3 of you were here. According to the ghost radar, and this went off at this similar time, Nicola and the 3 hits. Now, could one of you, of those 3 that are here, could one of you make one of these balls flash, please? I'm very sincerely hoping that you will do so. Or make them the K2 meter, which is the name of the device laying on the towel. On that table. Appear. You can appear if you want to appear. But please, if you do, appear on camera so we can see you. Because I don't want to go, and then go, hey, I just saw something. But yes, thank you. I mean, we appreciate that you're very possibly here, but if you could do that, we got a call. Let me get to the call. This has been for 7 minutes. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to leave you sitting there. Let's get to the call. And this is area code 920. You're on the air.
Hey.
Hey.
This is Justin.
Hey, Justin. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. Great show tonight.
Oh, very cool. Glad you like it.
My daughter. Oh, sorry. My 9-year-old daughter is with me.
Uh-huh.
And she wants to tell you about a Shadow Man experience that she had.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to put her on the line, and she can tell you.
Okay.
Well, all right, here you go. Her name is Denara.
Denara, that's a beautiful name. Okay.
Yep. All right, here you go, honey.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Denara. How are you?
Good.
Good. Thank you for coming on the show and being willing to share your experience. What happened?
So, I was sitting in the kitchen eating a bowl of cereal in the middle of the night or something.
Uh-huh.
But, so I looked behind me and there was a tall man, and so he looked in my room and then he walked to, my parents' room, and that was the last I saw of him.
Wow. Was that incredibly scary?
But there is another experience that I had with him,
Uh-huh.
but that's a story for a different day.
What was your
Okay.
What was your other experience?
So this time it was an apartment that me and my mom and dad, so they used to live there, and so yeah, I forgot what happened.
Oh, it's okay.
But it was a very long time ago.
Right. When you saw this tall person behind you, was it really scary, or were you more just curious? What were you feeling at that time?
I was just concerned because, well, I didn't, well, I thought it was like, so I thought it was a demon or something, but it didn't have any horns
Sure. Well,
or
that's good.
tail.
Yeah.
So I was just concerned.
Wow. Do you think it might have been some family member that had passed? I mean, do you have any thoughts about that?
Hey, it's me. I gotta add on to that the
Sure.
story that she's telling.
Uh-huh.
That night, where she's talking about, it was at her house that we had. Well, it was a trailer, but she had said that, and I remember this. She was in her bedroom, and there's a hallway that goes down to our bedroom to me and her mom's. And it was interesting because that night, she didn't even tell this to me until the next day or a couple of days later. But that night when she said she seen the shadow man,
Uh-huh.
I had sleep paralysis.
Wow.
And I've had it, a number of times before.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it was just very interesting because I had sleep paralysis that night, and then I think it was either the next day or a couple of days after, she had told me that she had seen a shadow man look in her bedroom and then walk down the hallway towards our room.
Wow.
And well, yeah.
So, but
Go
her
ahead.
in her experience, it didn't really look directly at her, but it looked like it was looking into her room where she would have been.
No, she said she was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But no, she was in her bedroom. She was in her bedroom.
Oh.
It was really late at night. It was on a weekend.
Okay.
So she was still awake and her door was open. So like if you walk down this hallway,
Mm-hmm.
it's a trailer,
Yeah.
But she said that she's seen the shadow man look inside her room. She was inside her room on the floor eating a bowl of cereal.
Oh. Wow.
And then it looked at her, and then it went down the hallway towards our room. And that's the night that I had sleep paralysis. So I just thought that was really crazy.
That is really crazy. Did the sleep paralysis experiences, were they just a small period of time, or did they quit, or what happened there?
I've had sleep paralysis. Another time I'll maybe call in. I've had sleep paralysis a number of times.
Okay.
Ever since I was like 13.
Wow.
But yeah.
That's incredible.
But yeah, it was just, that's what she explained to me, and I thought it was crazy because that same night that she said it, she seen the Shadow Man.
That is incredible. That's
I had sleep paralysis. So.
She's a brave little girl, brother, because, I mean, my God, I think I'd be screaming in the fetal position if I saw that. But she's...
Yes. Oh no, she loves the creepy stuff. I watch the creepy stuff all the time. She listens to me. She's right here right now listening to this show.
Oh, cool.
You know, and we love watching creepy stuff, and she loves it too. So
wow.
But yeah, she is a brave little girl.
That's incredible.
So, but yeah, it's really nice that you got to call in.
Yeah.
Now she's famous. She's famous.
Now she's famous. Well, thank you, Denaro. We appreciate you sharing that story, and thank you, brother, for calling in and letting her do that. That's amazing.
All right. Thank you, and have a good night. I'll continue to listen to the show.
All right, brother. Take care. Good night.
Yeah. Bye.
Wow, that's really cool. What a brave child. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine being young and looking up and seeing that, and then watching it walk down to, go stare at your parents. My God, what an incredible, maybe it's not a dark thing. I mean, shadowy apparitions, we often judge them in the fact that they're dark, but that's, we kind of have that old, the old cowboy movie, the way you tell the good guys that they got the white hats on, the way you tell the bad guys that they had the black hats on. It was just an old Hollywood theme, and it's kind of stuck with us that if something is dressed in white, it's good. If it's dressed in black, it's not. But that's definitely not the case. This has been spitting out a bunch of stuff. When I was talking to Danara, it said question. And then it said adulterer. It's like, wow. And then it says dude. It said dude. That's very cool. And surprise, rich, and now there, THEIR, there. So seemingly kind of random, but it was kind of interesting that after she said her initial part, question came up here, and I had a question to ask. So that's pretty neat. But again, if we can get the balls to flash, that would help us to verify you're here. But it was great to hear from you, Denara, and thank you for letting her call in, brother. I appreciate that. That's phenomenal. And that's also why we keep the show as family friendly as possible, because I love and adore the fact that some of our listeners are young. Some of our listeners are not young or as young. We're all young at heart, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it would be really easy for this to be a much more adult version, just by, language and stuff. But I like the fact that it's accessible to a wide audience like that, and it's not going to cause anyone to plug their kids' ears. There's certainly references sometime that are not for the young, but we are also adults here, most of us. So we're going to continue on here. Let me look at the time and see how we're doing. Been at this a while. Again, the ball was going nuts at the beginning of the show. Going nuts. Flashing like crazy.
Admire.
You admire? Oh, thank you. What do you admire? Is it me? Are you admiring me, or what are you admiring exactly? Can you tell me a little more? What does admire mean? This is a really cozy, nice show tonight. They all are. Thank you, Rachel. I hope people feel like they're among friends. I guess that's the big thing with the show, is I want it to feel like a place people feel comfortable, because this stuff largely isn't very comfortable. For those of you out there that have had experiences, it's just incredibly horrifying in a lot of cases, or at least life-altering experiences. But it's nice to know that we have a place to go, that we can all come together and discuss this stuff. And do we have the answers? No. But at least we can talk together and maybe come to a place of better understanding through our ability to interact with other people, other believers, other people that have had experiences, and maybe come to some understanding. I mean, we'll never probably understand it all. It's just not the scope of our human experience, but at least we can understand that we're not alone. And I think that's the big thing. A lot of times in paranormal experiences, you feel like you're all by yourself. Suddenly you're a million miles away from anyone or anything. You've had this experience. Who do you talk to? Who do you share it with? Well, we have a community, and that's the beauty of what's going on here. And I can't take a lot of credit for it. You guys all found me. I do my best to make the show as known as I can without dumping a fortune into advertising and promotion.
Tears.
And you have tears? I'm sorry, I don't have tears. We got, before it was, what was the other? Mourning and now tears. Mourn and now tears. I hope you're not sad. Whoever could be making these messages, I certainly don't want you to be sad. And I'm sorry if you're in a state of pain. I hope that you can move beyond that and find your joy and peace in your experience, because living in pain is horrible. So.
Bang.
Bang. Bang. Bang, bang. Okay. Well, kind of makes me wonder about, as many of you probably already know the history, I've explained what happened in this house. And certainly some of these responses may be directly related to that very tragic event that happened in the past year, long before I ever lived here. But it did have to do with a bang and mourning and tears and pain. And that's sad. I really do try to raise the energy and cleanse that energy as much as I can.
Taste.
That's kind of a random thing to say, taste. What do you taste? Do you have a taste that you're feeling or experiencing? Can you help me understand what taste means? But some of those responses do seem relevant for the history of this place. Not this exact part of the house, but at any rate, there is a relevance to it. It's also a bit of a stretch. These could be just, I think something is triggering this to create words, but I can't be convinced that they're always relevant. That's same thing like the ghost radar. Something is triggering it to say something is here and here and here. Something triggered that, probably energetically. What is that? Is that a naturally occurring thing that just happens with our very limited understanding of the natural energetic world around us? Or are they intelligences? Struggle. You taste struggle? Is that in relation to taste? You struggle to taste? Or you taste the struggles? I don't know what that means for sure. But something is triggering these things to happen, whether they're, having to do with some EM variations, energetic variations.
Elevator.
There's no elevator in this house. So not yet. I'm still able to use stairs.
Law.
What was that? Law? Elevator and then law. So two triggers, very close time. And that's interesting. So that's two very different sensors, not really far apart. The brother. Am I your brother? Are you my brother? All of my brothers are living, but I use the term brother a lot because I feel that everyone is my family. So, yeah, I mean, I'm be proud to be your brother if that's the case. Something did trigger the ghost radar program to generate a word at the same time or in close proximity to the elevator here. So we got elevator and then law, LAW, on the ghost radar. Maybe the person on the radar was the brother. Yeah, I mean, you certainly could be correct. That's the part. It's like, essentially this kind of investigating is like someone dumping out a huge puzzle on the table. Some of the pieces are upside down. Some of them are right side up. Some of them are it's just in a state of disarray. And you try to assemble a picture with the pieces that you're getting. And you might be on course and you might be a million miles away. Dorothy. Dorothy's a very sweet name that conjures up images of the past. The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. Was your name Dorothy or is your name Dorothy? Is that how people can address you? Could you say yes or no to let me know? Or if it's yes, could you make one of the balls flash if your name is Dorothy? I need some kind of indication so that I understand if this is relevant or not. Can you make either one of the balls flash if your name is Dorothy, or move close to the device laying on the towel on the table that has a light on it? It won't hurt you. There. Where's there? I don't see anything flashing. You said there like something happened, but I don't see anything happening. So if you could do that, if your name is Dorothy, if you can trigger one of the balls or the meter that's laying on the towel, that would be greatly appreciated because that would be a confirmation. Brent, I wonder if you ran two of the same app, if they'd say the same thing at the same time. I've tried that in the past, James, and it doesn't work. A friend of mine and I, years ago, were traveling across country, and I was telling him about the Ghost app. And it might be the one that's actually on the screen, the one that you're looking at. But there was a version that would go on your phone. And we both installed it. Now, interestingly enough, as we traveled down the highway, both of the apps would trigger a word at the same time. The word, however, was different on both devices. So that's what makes me wonder, Now, I will say that I think that spirits, many times during researching, two people will have audio recorders standing right next to each other in very close proximity, both holding them identically, but only one will have an EVP and the other will not.
Little girl around you.
That's a whole sentence. There's a little girl around me? Well, that's sweet. Is your name Dorothy, little girl? If that's your name, you're welcome to play with those little balls and make them flash. And then you can let me know that that is your name. Is your name Dorothy? Or is anyone in this... Well, let me just let that simmer for a sec. Is the little girl that's around me is named Dorothy? Can you make one of the balls flash? It's one of those things that they haven't been flashing anyway, even on cue when I'm saying, if you're here, do this. So I can't rely on the fact that they're not flashing to be a response. But if they do flash, that will be definite confirmation. So at least I'm isolating a yes answer. Also, if you can get close to that K2 meter that's on the towel, if Dorothy is your name, little girl, then that will make the lights flash up. More of the lights will flash up, which would help a bunch. I got to see something quick. I got these neodymium magnets here. I want to see if they affect. I don't think they will affect a K2, but let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, see what's happening as I move these noise? Do the magnets are making noise for you? So as I put these neodymium magnets there, you can see the flashing going on. So that definitely shows that it doesn't need electricity. It just needs a magnetic field. So, and we assume that that's kind of what spiritual essences are, is they at least appear on our devices as magnetic fields or mimic them. Can't say that they're definitely electromagnetic or EM, but they seem to have an EM effect on the environment they're in. And I think that that's important, an important distinction. Something about their energetic presences. They may not be electromagnetic we may not be electromagnetic in our energetic selves, but the energy that we are interacts with the physical world, creating EM fields. And I think that that's an important distinction, because oftentimes, we believe spirits are electromagnetic and have a EM field. Well, they do have an EM field, but that doesn't mean that they are electromagnetic. It just means that the spiritual energy interacts with our environments by creating EM fields. And I think that's an important distinction. And that just kind of occurred to me right now, because it sounds like a foregone conclusion. Oh, we can, check for spirits because they are electromagnetic. Our spirit energy is electromagnetic. Well, if that's the case, here's another name. Scott. If that's the case, then, that K2 meter, when I put it up to me, right up against my body, should be flashing EM, but it doesn't. Something about the meat suit I'm in maybe shields that and doesn't create the same EM field. We do have an EM field because of our heart, because of our, our mind, our thoughts, but...
Agitated.
Are you agitated? I'm sorry. I don't mean for you to be agitated. I don't want agitation. I want you to be peaceful and enjoying your experience here. Agitated is not good. So I hope you're not really agitated. If you're agitated, could you make one of the balls light up? I'm just going to keep rolling that dice. And I'm not trying to be a dick about it or condescending or a jerk, like, oh, if you're really here, do this. It's just you need to have the authentication. You need to have something triggering that is not directly the same. It's like if this spits out several things that seem to be relevant, that's great. But without a secondary authentication, it's just speculative. And it's still speculative. I don't know what it would take to be absolutely convinced, although if one of those balls just decided to roll. Star. It's capital S, so is that a name, Star? Is your name Star? Are any of the names that we've been given tonight any of the spirits that may be present? If so, could you make some of the balls flash, or one of the balls flash, or the K2 meter jump up like it did when I was holding the magnet? I would appreciate that a bunch. So, it's just an idea, but I don't know if what we've been given here is relevant or not. I don't think you can take any entire session as, well, we were talking to spirits and they said this. All we know is that something triggered the device to spit out a word. Sometimes those words are very, very relevant and seem to be guided, and other times they just seems to be triggers, much like the ghost radar, which doesn't seem in many cases to have any relevance. I wasn't going to say anywhere. I was going to say any relevance, but anywhere. Well, any of those of you that are here among me in the studio here, if you could perhaps make one of the balls flash, I would appreciate it. Or the device laying on the towel. Hello to you. Hi. Are you someone new? Did you just get here? Whomever you are, do you have a name? When I was investigating with Charles at the Davenport Hotel, we were doing a flashlight test, and it was pretty amazing flashlight test, because at first it was very benign, not a lot of activity. But as we were sitting in the lobby area, in this beautiful leather wingback chairs around this ornate table, he and I just started having a conversation. We talked about a lot of different things, but then It was suddenly like someone was there with us. And they started, I swear, they started to utilize the flashlights to weigh in on the conversation he and I were having. We talked about psychics, we talked about the spirits, and we talked about things like that. And every once in a while, the flashlight come on. Be like, oh, are you agreeing with that? If you're agreeing with that, turn the flashlight off. Boom, it would go off. It was like, and then it would continue talking. Boom, it would come on. Oh, okay. Are you saying this? Is this what you think? Boom, it would go off. If it is, turn it off. If that's you, can you turn this on? And we asked who it was, and it was really incredibly beside. If you're beside me, make the ghost radar on the screen light up. Can you use your energy to make that go on and show you beside me? Or make the balls flash? I'm just going to keep throwing that out there because now it's so bizarre because that ball would hardly quit flashing before, and now it won't go off to save my life. Not that my life's in danger, but you know what I mean. Figure of speech. But after that, after we got done with the flashlight test, we came back down with the structured light camera, and we scanned around, scanned all over the place. But when we went to that table, to the exact chair that was opposite Charles and I, he's caught a figure on the structured light cameras. And if you're not familiar with that term, if you watch like Ghost Adventures and stuff, it's the Kinect cameras that are used to map stick figures. You see stick figures, these stick figures that kind of seem to be in place. Well, there's one sitting in the chair right there. And it's like where he liked to hang out. And if I was a spirit, I think that'd be a pretty awesome place to hang out because you could sit and watch. You could just see what people are doing. There's live music there. It was just not at that time. Of course, that was much later at night, but it's just the idea that, all of this was going on. And so I went and stood next to it and, reached out my hand. I didn't really feel anything. I don't remember feeling tingles or cold spot or anything, but it looked like it may have been reaching its hand towards me, because that's why I asked, could you reach out and touch my hand? And so that was another level of correlation. So we started out with the flashlight test. Didn't have anything in several places we sat, or no, one other place we sat. Then we went to a different area, and then we finally settled on that table. This is a show, you're right. This is my show. It's called the Paranormal Portal. And we're thrilled that you're here with us, if you're indeed here. Said show. Seems like a relevant thing to say. But then to come back later with the structured light camera and to see a figure mapped on that chair, the one chair that Charles and I didn't sit in. There's another one as well, but that didn't map anything, but it would have been directly across from me, and Charles was in the third chair. The fourth chair, nothing was in. But the flashlight was in front of the chair that mapped out the figure. So that was correlation. And I probably shouldn't be letting all the cats out of the bag because that's one of the videos that's going to be coming out. But I was just really excited with that, and it is relevant to what we're doing. So that's why I think it's important to be conversational as well and just see if, these spirits, maybe in some cases they're just there. And maybe they're just disconnected from everything. But maybe they do sit and listen to conversations. And so to have something like a flashlight that they could try to trigger. We asked questions for a little bit and nothing much happened. But then once we started talking, we got like a couple indicators and then nothing. It just went flat. So Charles and I started talking. And once we were talking, it was like the lights were coming on to indicate like agreement or to contribute. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm also talking to you as I'm doing this, because maybe if there's a spirit here that will want to weigh in. And one of the ways it can do that, of course, is through this or through the blinking balls. So you can use the blinking balls, spirits, if you want to indicate your burned. Oh, dear. I'm sorry if you were burned. That's a horrible, horrible fate for anyone. I'm so sorry. But you can make one of the balls flash if you have an opinion that you want to agree with or you want to contribute to the discussion. So it's not exact in any sense. I mean, it's all about the individual. Sometimes it's all about the individual. There are some people that seem to get activity very easily, and there are other people that will work for years and never find anything really compelling. It's a conundrum, but maybe it has to do with the resonance of a person. Maybe the frequency of a person is an important factor in this, that we're not just these benign observers, that we're actively a part of the process that creates a resonance that maybe the spirits really become active for. I don't know. It's all speculation, but I find it very, very interesting. I told you that we might do a cryptid corner story tonight, but I don't think we're going to get time because as it stands, we're all out of time. So to any of the spirits that have come through tonight, if you were really here, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate you trying to talk.
I can scare you.
Well, maybe. I suppose I can be scared just like anybody else, but I certainly would rather not be scared. So I appreciate it if you didn't do that. I can scare you. It's like, okay, well, great. I can scream like anybody else, I guess. I generally don't get scared, and I don't want to put that out there, but I've witnessed a lot of paranormal activity through my life, and generally speaking, I've just been like, oh, wow, I can't explain that. I mean, I just generally don't get a lot of fear. Now, I will tell you, I've felt fearsome presences before. I've felt terrifying presences. But for the most part, most of the activity that I've been around has been, just, I don't think it's anything dark or evil in most cases. I've experienced the dark and evil stuff. I'm familiar with that, but I generally don't get scared. So if you can scare me, I appreciate that you maybe can. And I'm not saying you can't, but I would appreciate it if you didn't.
Army.
Were you in the army? Is that what you're saying? Okay, spirits, last chance. If you could make one of the balls flash, either the one behind me next to the skull or the two over on the table over there next to the towel, I'd appreciate it. Or if you can get close to that device on the table. This is your last opportunity to do that. I'm going to turn off the Spirit Talker app. Again, this has been the Spirit Talker app. You can check it out. It's in the App Store, both in Android and in iPhone.
Ernest.
Hello, Ernest. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you coming in. Were you in the army, Ernest? If you were, could you make a ball flash quick? We're almost out of time here, Ernest. I'd appreciate any kind of validation you can give about that. If that is true, please move one of the balls or make it flash. Maybe you can do it just by touching it.
Choice.
You have a choice. You absolutely have a choice. There's 3 choices, or a 4th choice is to do nothing. You don't have to do anything. But if you would, I'd appreciate it. So I'm going to turn off this app in about 10 seconds. So if you'd like to say anything before we do so that you'd like to share with both myself and those that are watching, please take this moment to do that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Boom. Okay. Well, got a lot of words, got a few things on the ghost radar as well, seemingly in conjunction. So it does seem that something was energetically interacting. Was that an intelligence? I don't know. Maybe. We got a lot of ball activity right off the start. Especially only the one behind me here. I don't think the ones on the table went off at all. But I think having just one item out was maybe not the right angle. Maybe each one is different as far as what it takes to trigger it. But it's all very interesting, and I hope you guys found it interesting as well. I think this stuff is absolutely fascinating and interesting. It's a chance to cross the bridge. Not cross the bridge, but connect to the unseen. Is it valid? Maybe. Maybe what we experienced tonight was very valid. Maybe it wasn't. There wasn't anything absolutely definitive, but there was some moments where it seemed like things were really taking off and happening. So you be the judge. Ultimately, it's not my scope or purpose to try to make you believe in anything, but I just wanted to bring you into this experience, let you be a part of it. I'm sorry if I didn't pay as close enough attention to the chat. If you guys had things to say and I missed it, I do apologize. There's only one me. And, between me talking to fill the space and to give you information I think is relevant, listening to what's being brought in, keeping an eye on everything, and broadcasting, my attention gets pretty split. So I apologize if I missed some chat stuff. But thank you to the chats. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Maggie. It's a great show again. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Love you all. The mosterist says Raspberries. Good to see you, Raspberries. I'm glad you made it in. Thank you so much for coming back. RJ Windwalker. We didn't do any shout outs. I apologize, but hope you guys had a good time with us tonight and on this journey. It's interesting. It's all just part of the journey, trying to figure it out. You're welcome, Lily Pond. Thank you for being here. And thank you to the chat. You guys are amazing. Thank you to the members, YouTube members. You guys are incredible. Thank you for the super chats that came in. And thank you for your likes and your subscribes. I love if you're here and you haven't liked already, please like the stream. Please share them. Let other people see that you watch the Paranormal Portal. You guys are the best opportunity I have for growth of all of this. So what's going on? Oh, did something else come in? Oh, Maggie, thank you. The storm just got here. Love you too, Ruthie. Be safe. Great show, Brent. Chat and callers, James says. Thank you, James. And thank you to everybody for being here. Remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. I'll be back on Wednesday. Hope you guys will join me then. Wednesday night, Don should be here as well. We'll dig into another round of this fun that we've come to call the Paranormal Portal. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. Take care. Good night. Until Wednesday night, hope you have a great weekend and a few days. And I'll come back with the best show I know how to bring you. So, all right, love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. All right. And thank you, Dinar, for the call. Thank you so much. It was great to meet you and to know you're out there listening. So I appreciate it. Good night, everybody.